It's Jackie, and today I wanted to show you a junk journal I made. I'm so pleased with how this turned out. I worked on it this weekend and it's all done, and I think it's super cute. Junk journals seem to be popular on YouTube right now. I don't know. It's funny how we all get interested in things at the same time. I followed a tutorial by Ephemeris Vintage Garden. I'll link to it below if you want to make one of your own. And let's hop right into it. So I made this journal. This journal started off as a book. It started off as Veronica Roth's Insurgent. I picked up a copy of this book for $5 at the used bookstore. If I'm going to alter a book so that it's unrecognizable, I do not want it to be a precious book. I don't want it to be old and vintage and one of a kind. I'd rather take something that's in mass production. I really liked the size of this book. It's got, I don't know, 1.5-inch spine. It's about a 6x8 in size, and it had a nice green color when I started, although you can't see any of the green of it now. But basically what I did to decorate it, after I gutted it, I just kind of like splayed out the cover on my table and worked on it. Oh, it looks pretty cool when I do it like this, doesn't it? Basically what I did is I gessoed it just to cover up all the writing and stuff that was on it. And it was just a light wash of gesso. I actually posted a picture of this on my Instagram. And then I just took my circle dies, these are We Are Memory Keeper circle dies, and I just cut the whole thing out. And I was left with all these little circles, and I just did like a thin layer of texture. I put down cardstock circles, and then I masked off the circles, and then I used some of this Recollections Pearlescent Christmas paste, which is just like a shimmery texture paste, and I used that to do all of the stencil work here. I die cut out the words Our Stories, and then I sprayed the whole thing with acrylic sprays that I made myself. I just mixed together some water and some acrylic paint, put it in a mini mister, and just kind of spritzed it. I did a little bit of black stamping on it to age it. I put a strip of ribbon on the back, which I also sprayed to get that same color, and I think this turned out so much prettier than I was expecting. And then for the circles, I painted them gold, and to do that, I used this stuff. It's called Liquid Leaf. And I got it from Michael's on clearance like a year ago. It's got all these warnings on it. I don't know who makes it. Plaid Enterprises Inc. I don't know. And you have to see this stuff. It's like magical. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's stunning. It's the most stunning shade of gold. And so I use that to paint over all the raised areas, the circles, and the writing. And so that's how I did my cover. And then inside, everything in here is stuff that has been in my stash for way too long, with the exception of this sheet of pattern paper. This is one of the ones I got at Scrapfest. It's close to my heart, and I just liked it so much I wanted to include it in this book. So everything else, though, is pretty old. I did a Craftex reinforced spine. Again, that was following Ephemeris Vintage Gardens tutorial, and I did 3 signatures. I think I could have fit, or no, I did 4. I think I could have fit 5, but I didn't want this book to start off chunky. You guys know what I'm like. I don't like chunky books. So I started it off kind of flat, and now I can use like chipboard and thickers in it, and I think it won't get too chunky. So I wanted to put lots of like fabric-y things. You can see here all like laces and ribbons and die cuts. So I think that's a really cool effect. I love to open a book with a page of vellum. So this is just plain vellum. I found this package of origami paper that I think I have had it for about 5 years. I didn't even know I had it, so I put in a sheet of that. This is, I think, a sheet of pattern paper. I put some Recollections lace trim on there. I just attached it with some double-sided tape. And this is just a sheet of pattern paper from an old paper pad. I sprayed some doilies with some Dylusion sprays, so that's what this is, and I just drip water on it. It makes these splashy kind of things. So I put a few of those in here. And this is just a die cut that was in my stash, a sheet of marker paper, and I just had some of these Teresa Collins tabs and tags, and I used up a whole sheet of them in here that's been in my stash for at least 4 or 5 years, so that was great. I put one on each side. This is an envelope that I get my Citrus Twist stamp kits in. I just covered up my address on it with black ink, and so that's like a usable pocket. I haven't put anything in it yet. A sheet of pattern paper with a Fancy Pants rub-on. I used up a whole sheet of Fancy Pants rub-ons in here too. That again was in my stash for too long. I just took little pieces of ribbon and I stapled them on to make little page marker-y things. Then I took some decoupage paper and I just put some on the corner of each side of these. This was just a little strip of paper that was in my stash, and I put a couple of butterfly die cuts on it. And so it makes like a little booklet inside these pages. I use We Are Memory Keepers So Easy string because I like the variegated designs. This one goes orange to yellow to sew in my bindings. Then we get to the other side of those papers. So on this side of the envelope, I just cut the top off of it and I just inserted a tag. And this is a tag that I did with Dylusion sprays back when I got my Tim Holtz Dylusion spray kit from Michaels. I did like lessons, and I produced a bunch of these tags. They've just been sitting on my desk for like, I don't know, a year and a half now. Some more decoupage paper, just a scrap I had. More of these Teresa Collins taggy things, and another Fancy Pants rub-on the other side of the marker paper. Here's the other side of the doily. I used a border punch on the side of the pattern paper, and another one of these Teresa Collins tags. I had a napkin, but I just used matte medium to stick the napkin down on this side of the paper. Here's the other side of the origami paper, and I just stapled on another one of these tags. A die cut heart I had in my stash, and I put one on each side, and another Fancy Pants rub-on on it. And then we get into the second signature, so you can see there's a 1/4 inch gap in between my signatures. So there's little paper bits because I just did the edge punching on this. So this is another sheet of pattern paper, and again I used double-sided tape to attach a ribbon to it. Just a random one in my stash. I think it probably came off like a gift basket of bath products or something. I thought this vellum and gold doily combination was so pretty. I didn't really want to embellish it much, so I just left it. So it's another sprayed doily. I sprayed both sides. Another sheet of marker paper and another ribbon tab. Another Fancy Pants rub-on. This is another one of those Dylusions when I was learning how to use those sprays, and it's got like texture paste on it, and I think it's pretty cool. Really bright. This is a pattern paper that's came in like a random 15 sheets for $1 bag from DeSerres a few years ago, and it's just been sitting in my stash. But I always liked that it had cutouts on it, so I'm glad I used it. Just a piece of composition paper, random circle, and a piece of washi tape on the side of it. Again, I use variegated thread. This one goes blue to green. This is a little file folder that's been in my stash forever. I still have a few of them, and I just put like one of the cards that goes with it inside, and I just glued it on, or taped it on both sides, and then you can just attach it with a paper clip in the middle. And I just put a little bit of ribbon on my paper clip. Just a little K & Company tag on there. I've got a whole pad of those I'm trying to use up. And the other side of this tag, again with the bright colors, I border punched this one. This is more marker paper. I just like the marker paper because it's so thin. Oh yeah, lots of punches in there. The other side of there's still some in there. The other side of the doily, vellum, another one of the little Teresa Collins die cut things, the other side of the pattern paper. And then we get into the third signature. Sorry about all the little punchy bits. So this is a sheet of vellum. It's not that old, but I just wanted to put a few pretty things in here that I loved too. So this is Do Crafts Geometric Neon. Then I had these, I think they're freckled fawn. No, I got these in a Peachy Cheap grab bag, all these feathers. So I just attach them with a staple, and I'll be able to put things under them, or they move around. I don't know, they're flexible still. This is a sheet of watercolor paper. I just had this circle die cut, so I cut it in half and put it on both sides. A sheet of black paper, this is just writing paper. I had this snap pocket, and I just put a little Fancy Pants rub-on on it. There's nothing in there yet. And that's stuck to the side of another one of these Dylusions tags. This one I think is pattern paper. And then we've got like a couple dark pages, and this is the bottom of another page in the book. It was a 12 by 12 sheet. The page is in the back of the book, and then this was the strip I cut off the bottom. So I used the whole page in here. And I'm looking forward to covering stuff like that up with my photos and my artwork or whatever. Some more decoupage paper on the other side of that tag. I think this one's really pretty, and I stapled a ribbon onto it. On the back I just put a little Fancy Pants rub-on. I thought it went along with the messiness from where I just made a mess doing my art. I put another one of the Fancy Pants rub-ons on this page. This one I border punched, and another one of the ribbon tags. I had this freckled fawn frame. I've got a few of those in my stash, so I'll be happy if I use one in here. And I just attached it with a Tim Holtz clip because the paper clip wouldn't have, like, it's too thick for a paper clip. And then we get into the last signature, and this is the top of this page, And this page has been in my stash forever. It's another one of those random ones from Desairs. I put some more lace on this one, and this one I glued down because it wasn't wide enough for a piece of tape. This is a napkin that was sent to me by one of my viewers, and it's been in my stash for a long time, and I just love it so much and never used it. So I just used the matte medium to attach it there. And I just put a tag on this page with you know, a little ribbon on my paper clip. This is a sheet of pattern paper from an old paper pad, more marker paper. And on this page I put a pocket from a Smash book. This is just a scrap of random paper. Another page from the origami paper that I have. This is a piece of isometric graph paper, which I thought was just really cool. Another sprayed doily in the middle, and I love how that looks in the middle of this signature. And then we just keep going. A little Fancy Pants rub on there. More marker paper. This is a square freckled fawn doily, just a heart die cut I had, and I just stapled that on so you can tuck things behind it. And on this side I put some butterfly die cuts that I had. This one I just put a little tag. I put a Fancy Pants rub on it and a little bit of ribbon. And that is the back. And then the pockets are basically just for where I'm going to stash things that I want to use in it. So all that's really in here right now, this is a photo I want to put in it of me and a link cat from our escape room we just did. A couple of die cuts that I meant to put in the book, they didn't make it in. And so as I collect things, they'll go in these pockets in the front and the back. And I'm just going to work on it sporadically, like whenever I feel like junk journaling, I'm going to work on it in here. And it's just going to store random memories that didn't make it into my regular daily journal, photos that didn't make it into my daily journal. I absolutely love this little book. I think it's so cool, and I feel so good about all the things that I used up in here. Like, this was really just made out of, I don't want to call it junk because it's all nice stuff, but it's stuff that has just been sitting here that didn't make me feel inspired, that never made it into any of my projects, and I used up so much of it in this book, and it all came together to make what I think is a really beautiful book. So yeah, I'm excited to get working in this. So as I fill in some pages in it, I'll maybe do some process videos, and I'll do some flip throughs, and we'll see how it progresses. So that's my junk journal. Thank you so much for watching.